This is Algebra 1, Part 2, Unit 1, which is Chapter 7, Problem 2, the Got It, on page 419. What is the simplified form of each expression? What you have to, there's two things to remember here. Number one, the exponent only goes with what it is right next to. So if things aren't in parentheses, it only goes with that one thing. The second thing is that only the base that has the negative exponent moves. Nothing else moves. So in A, this is very similar to problem 1. The negative exponent, remember the definition of a negative exponent is that it has to switch from numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator, whichever. So in this case, in order to get rid of that negative in the exponent, we have to move that x down into the denominator. So it becomes 1 over x to the positive 9th power. Part B, this is what I was talking about. Now the negative is in the denominator, but it still means you have to move it. So since it's in the denominator, moving it would put it in the numerator. And again, we replace it with a 1 if it's the only thing down there. And again, the exponent becomes positive once you move it. And of course, n cubed over 1 is the same as n cubed. Dividing by 1 doesn't change anything. Okay? This is what I was talking about as far as only goes with what it is right next to. So that negative 3 exponent only goes with the c. It doesn't affect the A4 or the B because there's nothing in parentheses. So it only goes with the one thing it's an exponent for, which in this case is the C. So that's the only thing that moves. So we're going to leave the 4 and the B alone because they don't have negative exponents. And we're going to move that C to the negative 3 down into the denominator and make it C to the third, positive third. Okay? This is another example of if it's in the denominator, it still has to switch places, meaning move it into the numerator. The 2 does not change places because it doesn't have a negative exponent, only the a does. So the 2 stays on top. The a to the negative third moves from the denominator to the numerator and becomes a positive third power. And we replace it with a 1, but again, dividing by 1 doesn't change anything, so it's 2a to the positive 3 power. Part E, you've got n to the negative 5th on top and m squared on the bottom. Since the m has a positive exponent, it stays where it is. The n has a negative exponent, so it has to move from the numerator to the denominator in order to change that 5 to a positive. So we replace it with a 1, and in the denominator we have m squared n to the positive 5th.